guys. So this is the video lesson, and you might hear some voices in the background. That's my son doing his morning meeting. So I'm going to take you through this quickly. I just wanted to show you, let's see. So there are some things that I know you know, but I just want to say them out loud and remind you, just like we would in class. As you guys are doing your research today, remember some things about taking really good main idea jot notes, right? So last week and all year, we've been working and building on your work from sixth grade about taking writing notes that capture the main idea of a small chunk of text, right? This is something good readers of nonfiction are able to do, where they read a text, a chunk of text, they stop and they think, what was that mostly about? And they try to put it into their own words. Now, as you're putting it into your own words, you want to try to capture the main idea, right? And you can capture the main idea by trying to describe some of the specific important things to remember, right? And this is a little bit subjective. Everybody's going to think different things were super important. So try to ask yourself what feels important about this and start to put it into your own words. And try to keep it relatively short, right? From 10 to 15 words. So some examples from your classmates, right? The very first chunk of text from day one, I'll read it aloud and then I'll read two sample jots, right? So it said, the actual text said, every harsh act of British control made the colonists more rebellious. By 1774, they had set up the Continental Congress. It was an illegal political body, but it was also a step towards independent government. So sometimes I like to read little chunks together. Or again, so I might read it again. Every harsh act of British control made the colonists more rebellious. So I'm thinking every time the British, the English government, said, you guys have to do something in the colonies, right? Colonists, the people there, started to get angry. They started to get rebellious. And so by the year 1774, they'd set up this thing called the Continental Congress. I wonder what that is, I ask myself. And then it tells me in the next sentence, the Continental Congress was an illegal political body. So like a group of people, like a beginning of a government. But it was also the first step towards setting up their own government, separate from the British government. So thinking, what does that mean as I'm going, helps me put it into my own words. So one of your classmates rephrased that in his own words and said, this is about the British being harsh and bossy, right? The Americans did not like that, so they formed a rebellion. So that's a good way to capture what seems important about this chunk of text in your own words. You could make it even shorter too, potentially. And you could write, by 1774, the colonists had set up an illegal Continental Congress, right? This person thinks that they will remember what a Continental Congress is. It might be even better if you add in the American colonists. By 1774, the American colonists had set up an illegal Continental Congress, right? But both of these mostly capture all this, right? They describe what feels important about the chunk of texts to that person. They are in their own words, and they're relatively short, right? Relatively under 10 to 15 words. Okay, so some reminders. You can rewatch this every time you do some research if you want to remember how to take good main idea jots. Okay, as always, email us if you have any questions. Alrighty.